The debate has been going on forever and probably never will stop, but I want to discuss knockoffs, and most specifically the masterpiece knockoffs and the realm of it, and I want to discuss this in a debate form. And when you talk about debate, you have to talk about both sides. First of all, you have to establish the resolution, and the resolution for me is that KOs really are okay. And so with that, the best debaters know both the positive and the negative, or the con. And I'm going to start with the con. I'm going to start with the negative. I'm going to disprove those. But you're listening to the Tiderium Hangar, where we talk about vintage to modern Star Wars, Transformers, and video games, and other great things, well, mostly from the 80s. And we're going to get right into this debate right now. So first of all, the negatives, the cons, and what I keep hearing over and over and over, I keep hearing all kinds of people saying that if KOs exist, then Takara's not going to make any more figures. It's not going to be profitable for them. They're just going to stop making them. And I have heard that over and over and over for, well, let's see, my first KO I bought was in a masterpiece version in 2013, and I've heard it since then. That's that statement over and over and over. But I got to tell you that, yeah, we're still getting 4 more masterpiece figures this year, maybe even more, but 3 from the G1. So that's disproven. They're still making them, even with KOs out there. The reason why is because Takara makes all their money back. They recoup every bit of their costs in the very first run. That first run makes them well more than enough money to pay for their development costs, to pay for the run of figures, the materials, and of course their fixed costs that are already associated with owning and operating a business. So that right there, they're profitable when they've sold that first production run. And you can crunch some numbers, but it's very easy to see a high level of profitability there. Now it's their second production run that KOs tend to eat into that production run, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. The next issue is devaluing the official price. Like, I bought the official and now my official just isn't worth 3 times as much anymore. And guess what? That is true. But I don't see that actually as a negative. I personally used to buy 2 of every official that came out, and I would wait till the price doubled and then sell my second. And I did that to fund my next purchases. But now you can't do that anymore. You buy the official, it doesn't always double in price. It may go up a little bit between runs or before KOs come out, but they don't take off in price and soar in price like they used to, as bad as they used to. And I think that's a positive for collectors. But we're going to talk more about that when we get to the pros. So yeah, I mean, it does devalue the official. It keeps the official from being extremely expensive. Next, the next point I continue here, negatives, people talking bad about KOs, is, well, that's why the official product's price is so high. Well, guess what? That is true, but it's also a counterbalance. The higher Takara raises their prices, the more incentive for more companies to go after the KO market. And yes, I did make a video talking about the end of KO because of the legal ramifications. But you know what? These companies found ways around the law somehow, some way, and they keep popping up. Or they're just risking it. I mean, that's actually a pretty good example. They're risking it of not getting caught. So who knows how many thousands of KOs are out there. But yeah, the official's price is high. So that's going to create more incentive for more product to be on the market and more availability to the end customer. Knockoffs versus third parties. Now, this one is actually kind of a big deal. There's a lot of people that truly think an Infinite Transformation version of MP36 Megatron, or the Infinite Transformation version of, well, the Dinobot that's coming out, that those are third-party figures. That's not true. The truth is that's a knockoff. If I could go pop the arm off of Infinite Transformation or any part off of it and replace it, put it on an official MP36, that's a knockoff. They stole the design, they copied it 1-to-1. Even the MPP-10's amazing 12-inch Optimus Prime that they've made modifications to is still a knockoff. That's not a third-party figure. I'm not going to lie. I like KOs, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's not really a KO, it's a third party. No, it's not. It's fourth party. It's a knockoff. And I'm not going to defend the fact that and try to say, oh, it's really a third party. It's the same as like a Polygon. No, it's not. It's a completely different thing. And of course, the last one, it's the theft of someone else's work and someone else's IP. The reality is that is true. That is true. So for you buying that, you're supporting someone else over somewhere that you don't see, stealing an intellectual property. But on the flip side, the people could fight against it just like Keith did with X-Transbots and lower his price on an item to beat out KOs. So it's not profitable to knock. If you knock things off and you have to sell them for 20 and it costs you 18, in the end it's really not going to be worth it. You might as well just not bother knocking it off. So that's actually, that's true. It is theft, and it is technically illegal for them to do it. The buying of a product that's a knockoff, well, they're in like questionable zone. Now the part I like about knockoffs the most is the pros and the positives, because there's no doubt there's negatives, and we discussed some negatives. We discussed, I'd like to say I disproved them. I'm sure a lot of people will say, no, you didn't disprove them. The pros bring in collectors. It's a positive of KOs that they bring in collectors. So let me give you an example of that. In 2013, I sat around with my, I actually paid $25, but it was originally like $63 for the MP01 Optimus Prime. And I had bought that earlier, and I've had that for a while. And then I see the Carbots come out with no diecast for $60, and I say, you're insane to think I'm going to pay the same exact amount of money, which I actually didn't pay $25, but I wasn't going to pay $60 for the MP01 at the time, let alone $60 for a little piece of plastic. Although they're kind of cool, I'd like to have them. I don't want to pay that much. I think they're worth about $30. So when the KOs came out for about $30 or $40, I gave them a shot, and I ended up liking them. And now I'm buying the officials at $60-something, which is cheaper than the $80. But I'm buying the officials, and I'm supporting Takara. I'm brought into the hobby deeper than I wanted to go because of KOs. I could tell you at least a dozen people I know that felt the same way. The KOs are dragging them in to this excruciatingly expensive hobby. The next thing it does is it broadens the market. So you have people that are already collectors. Let's say they collect Siege, or they collect G1 figures, but they don't want to get into Masterpiece because of the price point, and to try to get a full shelf of them is going to be real expensive. And then they see some KO options, and they dip their toe in with the KOs, and then they spread out to getting everything. Some third parties. That is true, and I've seen that happen many times. And it's sort of similar to my situation, but I already was buying all of the officials as I went until the Carbots came out, and I didn't feel like the Carbots were worth it. And then I jumped into the Carbots because of the KO. And this is talking about people that don't even have one Masterpiece. They don't have one Masterpiece, but they give it a shot with a KO. Now, yes, you could end up, on a negative on that point, you could end up getting one and it breaks on you, or the QC's not that great. But I got to tell you, these days, the KO QC is most of the time better than Takara's. Let's talk about Beast Wars Megatron. With that one, the Beast Wars Megatron breaks in your hand. I expect to get a KO from one of these fourth-party companies that's going to have better plastic, and it's not going to break. So that's my expectation. Next one. KOs keep the product available to collectors in between Takara's production runs. They don't have scheduled second run and third runs. They put it out whenever they feel like it. So if you missed out on, let's say, Soundwave, and you wait 2, 3, 4 years, you're having to buy one on the secondary market for like $300. Well, guess what? The KO's keeping that price down on the secondary market, but are also making it available to you for like $100, which is even cheaper than it was originally when it came out. But it's available. And on the flip side, people aren't going to be trying to charge you $350 for a Soundwave, because there's other options available. And there's other options out there. The next point that's a positive is some of these fourth-party companies surely do improve the designs. And I like the fact that they're putting in more die-cast. They are fixing some of the issues, such as with Weijing, they KO oversized, but they fixed the Ratchet and Ironhide's side skirts and proportions a bit and made them look a little bit better. I kind of wish they would have done that and given you a 9-inch option too. But I do understand kind of their respect they're giving to Takara by not dipping into the 9-inch realm and just staying in their 12-inch space, which I appreciate that too, professionally, on a professional level. But when you make improvements and infinite transformation with the die-cast and all those things, I do appreciate all those extras. And this leads into the next point where would they make more accessories or improve the accessories, just like with the MP36 cannons and with the upcoming MP44. Now, if they do KOs, which I have not had any of my sources say there's a KO in the works yet, because it's obviously way too soon. But if there's a KO in the works, they're going to have English voice clips. I guarantee it. They're going to be one company's coming out with an English voice clip in MP44. And I got to tell you, that's my biggest downside to getting the official right now, is that I don't really want the Japanese voice clips because it doesn't do me any good, and I love those features. I absolutely love those features in a toy. Well, how come like Weijing can bust out with their Omega Supreme and it can speak English, but in P44 we can't get an English speaking one at all recorded with Peter Cullen? Well, guess what? The ones are going to get one recorded with Peter Cullen, but Peter Cullen's probably not going to get $1 out of it, which is part of the problem. So I've covered some positives, I've covered some negatives. I'm going to tell you that it is definitely, KOs are a touchy subject. It's a sticky situation, and the debate's going to go on forever. I know that when this video is over, the debate isn't over. The debate is going to continue raging on. But I do have one more point to say. What advantage does somebody get for buying an official product right when it comes out? Because you're going to be paying that premium price point, and a year later, everybody's going to have a KO of it, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing, and maybe even improved upon, and maybe have some better. So why is it even worth you spending your money, spending your $450 on an MP44? Why buy the new Bumblebee? Why not wait for the KO, because you might not even like it? Why spend $160 on a Hound or $140 on a Black Arachne and wait for a $60 KO if that ever happens? Why? Well, here's why. If you buy the official, you got about 10 months that you're the only person, well, you and the other 5,000 people that bought it are the only people that have that particular figure, that mold. You're the first one to handle it, to have it on display, to enjoy that piece. And if something happens down the road to where KOs don't come out, the KOs are in way worse shape, you still have your official product. You still have that best of the best of the best until the next best thing comes along. Generally, it takes 10 months for a knockoff to come out, and that's in the most modern. We're talking MP36 2017, 2 years ago. It took 10 months for a KO of that to come out. It took 9.5 months for the MP39 to come out, and that's just a Carbot. I know the part counts are up there. So you've got 10 months, maybe even a year. You are the only one to have that around. And it's fun to have it. It sucks to be the position I was in, chasing down an MP10, and everybody wanted triple what it cost. And you couldn't find it anywhere, and I bought a broken one and rebuilt that thing. Is the only way I could get an MP10 for the price that they originally sold for. And I would hate to be in that situation ever again. But guess what? Those situations will arise. Let me know what you think about the KO debate. What side of the debate are you on? Are you pro, you con? Or do you not really care? Do you buy officials only? Do you buy KOs? Do you buy both? Like me. Like, subscribe. Tiberium Hanger out.